It's great to have you back on the show, man.
You bet, fellas.
Love it. Love the discussion.
Tell your boy Clay Travis to calm down. Just listen to some Taylor Swift and calm down, man.
He's never chill. That's
never chill.
You don't get to be Clay Travis unless you have no chill, and that's
who
Clay is.
I got some beef with Mina Kimes too, man. She tried to call my boy Jake Browning a glorified punter, so I had to give her hell about that. We saw how well Jake played when he got in there.
Yeah, it's fascinating to see the response of ESPN when some things are talked about versus other things.
Screw ESPN. We know where ESPN can go.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Did Mina blame you for any criticism she received online?
Yeah, she blamed Clay for all the trolls on the internet that came after her.
I think I'm to blame for pretty much anybody's trials and tribulations, I think is the way it works.
Did she engage with you when you went at her about Jake Browning and her take on him, or no?
Yeah. She said, she talked about how he just is not a starting NFL quarterback. And I agreed to disagree. And then he went down to Jacksonville and pretty much put up a perfect passer rating and beat a team that had won like 7 straight or something like that. And so my response back to them was, somebody on NFL Live needs to ask how the Cincinnati Bengals just went into Jacksonville and beat the Jags with a glorified punter at their quarterback position. And so that was probably about the last response I got.
It's a good response. Crickets. I think Clay's probably received the last response from Mina Kimes that he's going to get also. Right. So I think it's probably going to be.
I don't get why she would engage with him. That's what I don't get. I'm like, I don't know what I don't get that. Clay is like a stone wall. Dude, like, just stands there and takes beatings from everybody and is just like, I don't care. I don't know what you're talking about. I like the guy I see in the mirror. I don't care what anybody else has to say or judge about me or anything. It's just weird. It's been a weird time at ESPN. Of course, I got let go a year ago for telling Kirk Herbstreit and Pat McAfee that they were out of line on College Game Day. Apparently they can't take criticism either. And you just watched it play out, Orlovsky talking about how he can't speak, how he wants to speak. Well, yes, you can. Like, if a paycheck is that important to you, then the people under your roof and stuff like that, I don't understand it. Maybe it's because I've been in prison and I've been at the very top and I've been at the very bottom and I don't have anything to lose. Like, I can always find another job. I can always make more money, but I'm going to be, I'm going to be the guy I like to see in the mirror every day. And that's a big change because I didn't like that guy forever. So this is it's just odd. It's just really odd to see people behave in the way they do. It doesn't feel like they're real. It almost feels like they're simulations in some way. And that's just weird, especially around sports.
Well, David Pollack posted on X about the whole Orlovsky thing.
I retweeted it.
And said, hey, I've been there. Keep being you, but I've been here before. And David Pollack has done a lot of different things since leaving. A lot of things, this faith-based podcast and different things like that. Since leaving ESPN.
I retweeted it and I wrote it, like he said, when your livelihood is tied to your words, it isn't always easy. And I said, except it is easy. Like, especially when you love the person you see in the mirror, regardless of the scars or the judgment of others. You know where ESPN can go, and I gave it a nice little pointed to where it can go. Orlovsky, you can always make more money and continue to love the guy in the mirror, and those that live under your roof will too.
It's well said.
Simple.
Well said.
Simple. It doesn't matter. And again, I have a different perspective. Like, I'm really grateful for every moment. Like the bed I sleep in, the fact that I can go out and breathe air freely and stuff like that. There's I don't live in fear of speaking, truth to power at all. Because what are they going to take away from me? Really? They can't take anything away from me. And so I guess I'm the one that gets to, though my wife has told me plenty of times when I did get released from doing the job I really like to do at ESPN and call games, she did say, you do have a family now and you do have to earn a living though for that family. I said, we'll figure it out. But she's right. She's usually right. I usually stick my foot in my mouth sometimes too, but that's why I love her.
You're a talented guy. You will figure it out in the broadcasting world or wherever. And all that Orlovsky wrote was protect our daughters.
Right.
I think in response to the story, which Dan Orlovsky's even made it to a point, I feel like, at ESPN where he could have said, yeah, I'm not going to delete that post.
Well, he prayed on air.
Yeah, the post in and of itself
the same guy. Yeah, we know.
And he
Dan.
could have responded to whoever asked him to take it down and said, yeah, I did pray on air. This is who I am.
Right.
It's not going to be an issue, and I'll handle any of the fallout if someone's got a problem with it. He could have told ESPN that.
Yeah, I don't.
What do they do, Ryan? When someone clearly got to him and said, take it down. So like whenever
Oh,
you're
no, I've had these phone calls.
Okay,
Yeah, I've had those
what
phone
are those
calls from
like?
Is it always a phone call and not a text? People
No,
don't like
it's
to
a
put
phone-
things in writing. They usually like to call.
It usually comes from a coordinating producer too. Like it's not the above the pay grade. So like in my situation, a coordinating producer who and I had an incredible relationship with, came and said, "Hey, I think we're going to pull you off games the rest of the season." And I'm like, you've told me week in and week out, I'm your number one guy. Like,
And this was for criticizing what was being said about Washington State?
Yeah, Washington State and Oregon State. Yeah, when I got after them for making it a big joke.
Right.
Herb Street and McAfee are the most, overly sensitive people I've ever met for guys who live in this, high platform. They get criticized all the time, but boy, God, are they overly sensitive, narcissists.
So they probably complain to someone, then a coordinating producer calls you and says they're going to take you off of games?
Yeah. So the coordinating producer calls me and I said, "Well, you're not making this decision. Who's making this decision?" And he said, "Well, someone above my pay grade." And I said, "Well, you need to have the someone above your pay grade call me." And so they did. And by that time I had confirmed with people on why it happened. And so when I got them on the phone, I was just like, "Yeah, I think this is about right. I think you and we don't have shared values. And so I think this is probably the proper decision." And I get it. You got $85 million people scaring you. You gotta fall in line. And so I understand that. On my end of things,
it still sucks.
It still
doesn't
sucks.
make it suck less.
It still sucks because I like doing it. I had some good texts with Kirk and Pat after that. Like they tried to like play it off like, "I don't know what you're talking about." It's just silly stuff. And so it is what it is. The point is, if your bosses are going to do that, and they're going to come at you and say, "Hey, take this down," or "Don't comment on this," or something like that, it is your choice. Like everybody has a choice to then, repeal it or however you decide to do it. I don't think something like what Dan did overstepped any sort of boundary at all.
No.
He has daughters that live under his roof. I am now a girl dad. Like, I mean, it was as tame as possible around what the misinformation was. Maybe just the tweet around the misinformation aspect of all that what went out at that time. That may have been the reason why, but still silly that.
It's still a true statement, even though there was.
That's a true statement, yeah.
You don't have to remove it based on the fact we don't know what the storyline was at the Olympics.
Protect our daughters. That is what the hell is wrong with that?
Right.